good morning to you. I'm happy to bring you another contest in the National Science and Maths Quiz Competition. This contest is actually a quarter-final contest, and today we have Mfantsipim boys against Presbyterian boys. Let's take a word from our sponsors, and after that we'll continue.
For a more active life, rich and creamy Amstel Malta, the international quality low-sugar malt drink. Yeah, that's the way I like my malt drink, Amstel Malta. Low sugar with pleasurable taste and pure nourishment. For you to enjoy again and again. I like it.
I like it.
Amstel Malta. Look good. Feel good.
Viewers, you're welcome back. Let's meet our contestants now. Presbyterian boys is to my right and represented by
Charles Udonko, SS3.
Prince Alan Tete, SS3.
Michael Kwesim Kansa, SS3.
Mfantsipim School is to my left and represented by
Emmanuel, SS3.
Obriya Bwakweku, SS3.
Asabedi Emmanuel, SS3.
Viewers, last week GSCS made it to the semi-final. Today we are here to find out which of these two schools joins GSCS at that stage. Gentlemen, you're welcome to the program, and we'll move straight into round one. You have 15 seconds within which to give an answer. A correct answer is worth 3 points. That is if the answer is to a major question. A bonus question answered correctly is worth 1 point. I'll start with you, Presbyterian boys. Factorize completely a squared minus 7ab plus 6b squared. Charles.
A minus 6b into bracket A minus 6b, another bracket A minus b.
That is correct. Mfantsipim. A squared plus 5ab plus 4b squared. Factorize completely. Kweku.
A plus 2b into brackets, A minus 2b into brackets, plus 5ab.
No. Akoria. Akoria.
A plus 4b into bracket, A plus b into another bracket.
That is correct. Presbyterian boys. After fertilization, the zygote undergoes cell divisions without an increase in the size of individual cells. What is this process called? Charles.
Cleavage.
That is correct. Mfantsipim. At the distal end of the femur are projections that articulate with the tibia. What are these projections called? Kweku.
Trochlea.
No. Kweku again.
Obturator foramen.
No. Asabaden.
Occipital condyles.
No. Presbyterian boys for a bonus. Michael.
Condyle.
Condyle. Presbyterian boys. Distinguish between friction and viscosity. Distinguish between friction and viscosity. Alan.
Friction is a force that opposes relative motion between two solids, but viscosity is a force that opposes movement in fluids.
Explain further. Charles.
Friction is the force that opposes the relative sliding motion between two solids. But then viscosity is the force that opposes the internal friction within a liquid due to the different relative velocities of the layers of the fluid.
And that is correct. Distinguish between saturated vapor and unsaturated vapor. Akoria.
With saturated vapor, the vapor exists in equilibrium with its liquid, but with unsaturated vapor, the vapor that does not exist in equilibrium with its liquid.
Can you explain further?
That is, with saturated vapor, the rate at which the vapor turns into a liquid is the same as the rate at which the liquid evaporates into the gaseous form. But with unsaturated vapor, it isn't that way.
I'll give you 2 out of 3. I'll give you 2 out of 3. First of all, I want you to say that the saturated vapor is in equilibrium with its liquid in a confined space. That you didn't say. And then the other thing is that because it's in equilibrium, it doesn't permit further evaporation, whereas the unsaturated one will permit further evaporation. So that is what it is. Preset boys, your question. Carbon has 3 isotopes. Which of them is or are not radioactive? Child.
Carbon 12 and carbon 13.
That is correct. In Mfantsipim School, define ionization energy. Define ionization energy. Akoya.
It is the minimum amount of energy required to move 1 mole of ion from 1 mole of gaseous isolated atom to infinity.
Kweku, try.
It is the minimum amount of energy required to take 1 mole of an electron from 1 mole of a gaseous isolated atom to infinity.
It's all mixed up. It's all mixed up. I'll give you 1. I'll give you 1. It is the energy per mole required to remove 1 electron from the outermost shell of a gaseous atom. Okay, it wasn't too clear. It wasn't clear. Preset boys, what is the function of melanin? The function of melanin. Charles.
Melanin gives the skin is the dark pigment in the skin that gives its color to prevent to give protection against ultraviolet rays of the sun.
I'll give it to you. There's another function of melanin that is not well known, and that's the fact that there's melanin in the eye which prevents reflection of light within the globe of the eyeball. But what we're looking out for was the ultraviolet part. In Mfantsipim School, what is the function of scale leaves? Kweku.
The scale leaves protect the inner foliage leaves. It protects the leaf that contains the food and prevents loss of water.
In what?
In plants that store food in their leaves.
All right, I'll give you the mark. I'll give you the mark. Scale leaves protect the stored food in bulbs, culms, or rhizomes. All right? Your question, prepared boys. Give the product of the reaction between calcium carbide and water. The products of the reaction between calcium carbide and water. Michael.
Ethyne and calcium hydroxide.
That is correct. Your question in Mfantsipim School. Name the isotopes of hydrogen. Alphabeting.
Deuterium and tritium.
Akoria.
Protium, deuterium, and tritium.
That is correct. Your question, prepared boys. Which of the following radiations have the highest frequency? A, light waves, B, radio waves, C, X-rays, D, infrared rays, and E, ultraviolet rays. Alan.
X-rays.
And that is correct. The angle of deviation of light of various colors through a glass prism decreases in the order of A, blue, orange, and red. B, red, blue, orange. C, blue, red, orange. D, red, orange, blue. E, orange, blue, red. Only 1 attempt. Kweku.
red, orange, blue.
I'm sorry, Kweku. The answer is A, blue, orange, and red. Your question, Protect Boys. And that's the final question for round 1 going to you. Find the domain of the function f of x equals x squared minus 3x plus 2. Tell.
2 and 1. Or x into bracket x minus 1 bracket and x minus 2.
No.
X is equal to 1. X is either x equal to
Alan,
minus 1 or
try?
x is minus 2.
X is a real number.
X is a real number. So the domain for that function is the set of all real x. In Mfantsipim school, find the domain of the function f of x equals 1 over into brackets x minus 2, another bracket x minus 1. Akoria.
X is such that x belongs to the set of real numbers, x should not be equal to 2 or x should not be equal to 4.
Try again.
X is such that x belongs to the set of all real numbers, and x should not be equal to 2 and x should not be equal to 1.
And that is correct. That brings us to the end of round 1.
For a more active life, rich and creamy Amstel Malta, the international quality low-sugar malt drink. Yeah, that's the way I like my malt drink, Amstel Malta. Low sugar with pleasurable taste and pure nourishment. For you to enjoy again and again. I like it.
I like it.
Amstel Malta. Look good. Feel good.
Viewers, at the end of round 1, here are the scores. Mfantsipim School has 15 points. Protect Boys has 25 points. And now to the applied science round. Again, you have 15 seconds within which to give me an answer in this round. In a few cases, questions may involve calculation, and you will have 30 seconds within which to give an answer. Again, a correct answer to a major question is 3 points. A bonus question answered correctly is worth 1 point. I'll start with you this time in Mfantsipim School. Give an example of a method of extraction of a metal from its oxide by a chemical method. Akoria.
Reduction.
No. Akoria again.
Electrolysis.
No. Kweku.
Extraction of gold.
No. Protect Boys for a bonus. Michael.
Extraction of aluminium from alumina by electrolysis.
No. My question was, give an example of a method of extraction of a metal from its oxide by a chemical method. And that is by heating the metal oxide with carbon or carbon monoxide. Your question, Protect Boys. Give an example of a method of extraction of a metal from its oxide by a non-chemical method. Alan.
Electrolysis of alumina to produce aluminium.
That is correct. Your question in Mfantsipim School. Most savanna grasses grow in thick tufts called tussocks. What is the advantage of this type of growth? Alphabaden.
It prevents excessive loss of water, and also the grasses are able to withstand unfavorable conditions.
I won't take that as a bathing. Protect Boys for a bonus. Charles.
It gives the grass increased resistance against fire, and then serves as pollination organs.
It serves as
Organs of pollination and increased resistance against fire.
it gives resistance against fire. Ultimately, that's what it is. But what it's protecting is the bud, okay? Because the tussocks are the outer leaves. They take the fire and the bud is down there. So at the end of the day, even when the leaves are gone, the grasses can come back. but I'll give you the mark. Your major question. Frogs and toads can both breathe through their skin. Give me one reason why this process is more efficient in the frog. Charles.
This is because the skin of the frog is very moist and very smooth. And a characteristic of respiratory surface is that they must be moist so that gaseous gases can dissolve in the moist surface so that there can be easy diffusion into the blood.
I'll give you the mark. Your question in Mfantsipim School, and there's a preamble. At what point in the motion of a simple pendulum is the tension in the string in Mfantsipim greatest? Explain. Kweku.
It's when the pendulum is at maximum displacement. This is because at this point, all the force acting on the body acts downwards. So tension in it is maximum at this point.
What do you mean by maximum displacement?
When potential energy is maximum.
To protect boys for a bonus, at what point in the motion of a simple pendulum is the tension in the string greatest? Explain. Michael.
This is when the pendulum bob points vertically downwards, and at this point the kinetic energy is maximum.
Yeah, I can't give that mark because it was a bonus question, and yes, it's at the point where it's pointing vertically downwards, and that is the equilibrium position, and at that point the tension is equal to the full weight of the bob. Your question, protect boys. At what point is the tension least? Explain.
The tension is least when there is maximum displacement, such that only a component of the weight is equilibrated by the tension.
I'll give you 2. It's not just a component of the weight, it is the smallest component of the weight that you have at maximum displacement, and that is why it is least. All right? In Mfantsipim School, your question, and there's a preamble. A 4-digit number is to be formed from the numbers in the set 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a set containing those numbers. In Mfantsipim, in how many ways can this be done if any of the numbers in the set may be repeated? Asabaden.
120 ways.
No. Aporia. No. Kweku.
60 ways.
No. Kweku.
24 ways.
No. To protect boys for a bonus. Alan.
3,125 ways.
No, I'm sorry. The answer is 500, and I'm not explaining, so you answer your question. Protect. In how many ways can this be done if no number in the set can be repeated? If no number can be repeated. Alan.
120.
No. Charles.
24.
I'm sorry, it's not 24. Charles again.
72.
No. Michael.
12 ways.
I'm sorry. To Mfantsipim for a bonus. As a Baden.
250 ways.
No. The answer is 96. Gentlemen, we are trying to form a 4-digit number. We are trying to form a 4-digit number from the numbers in the set given you. Remember that a 4-digit number does not start with 0. Okay? So it's a pigeonhole type of question. So in the first case, if this can be done, how many ways can this be done if any of the numbers in the set may be repeated? In that case, you start with 4, okay, because 0 cannot be the first one. And then in the next case, you could have 5. In the third case, you have 5 ways. Then in the fourth place, you can have any of those 5 figures. So you have 4 times 5 times 5 times 5, which is 20 times 25, and that's 500. In your case, you are told that you are asking how many ways can this be done if no number in the set can be repeated. So in the first place, like I said, 0 cannot be the first digit. So you have 4 possibilities. Then in the next again you have 4 because you cannot repeat. In the next is 3, and for the fourth it is 2. So you multiply those and you come up with 96. Let's move on. In Mfantsipim School, in tightening cylinder head bolts in an automobile engine, the critical quantity is the torque applied to the bolt. Why is this more important than the actual force applied to the wrench handle? Akabaden.
This is because the perpendicular force from the line of action is more greater, so more work is easily done.
Explain further.
This is because the perpendicular distance from the bolt is longer, so it does not the torque is the perpendicular distance times the force, so it does not require a greater force to turn it.
I'll give you 2 out of 3. See, when I ask a question, I expect it to be answered. Why is this more important than the actual force? And you haven't explained why the torque is more important than the actual force, okay? You know that the torque is the perpendicular distance times the force, right? And the torque is what gives you your turning effect. So that is what you are interested in. But if the force is small, since the torque is what you are interested in, and it is the product of the two, so long as your perpendicular distance is long enough to compensate for the loss in force, you will still get your torque. And that is why the force is not as important, okay? So that's what I wanted to hear. So said boys, can a single force applied to a body change both its translational and rotational motion? Explain. Alan.
It can, because if the force is in another direction from its translational motion, it will change its direction. And then in the rotational motion, it can even bring it to stop. Or
Michael.
It is possible. This is when the force applied at a point on the body other than the center of mass, causing it to both rotate and move.
I'll give you the mark. Even though the volumes of the left and right ventricles are the same, the left ventricle has a thicker wall than the right ventricle. Why do you think this is so?
This is because the left ventricle pumps blood to the whole body, which is a longer distance. So it needs a stronger muscles to pump it around the body, but the right ventricle pumps blood only to the lungs.
And that is correct. Protect boys. Protect, even though adult amphibians, unlike their young, live on land, they have to return to water to breathe. Why do you think this is so? Alan.
the tadpoles that result out of the hatching of the eggs they have gills for respiration, and so they cannot live on land. So they have to return to.
Mfantsipim for a bonus. I'm sorry, Alan, I won't take that. Mfantsipim for a bonus. Kweku.
The adult amphibians have lungs, all right, but lung respiration on land is not that effective as in water, where they can respire. Respiration can take place using the buccal cavity or the skin surface. That's why they return to water.
I'm sorry, Kweku. I'm sorry. I wonder why you are all starting in the middle of the story. Because the adult amphibian is returning to the water to breathe. So first of all, think about the eggs. Because to breed, it has to bring out eggs. Why doesn't it put the eggs on land? Why does it go into water? And it's because the eggs are soft and prone to desiccation. The eggs of an amphibian doesn't have the embryonic membrane, all those yolk sacs and amnions that others have. All right, and that is why it goes back into water. Your question in Mfantsipim School. Why does it matter which alkali, sodium hydroxide or KOH, is used in the saponification of vegetable oils and fats to produce soap? Atabaden. Akoria.
Sodium hydroxide is the soap obtained from sodium hydroxide is harder than that of the potassium hydroxide. So if
I think I'll just take that. I don't know what else you're going to add. Yeah, the sodium hydroxide will give you hard soap and the other one will give you soft soap. So depending on which one you want, you use the right kind. Presec, why can't we use mineral oils to produce soap? Michael.
Mineral oils do not contain the fatty acid group which is required to form the salt or the soup.
No, I won't take that. In fact, for a bonus, Akoria.
Mineral oils do not have the extra functional group in order to undergo saponification to give you the soup.
No, I won't take that. They cannot undergo saponification, but what is, we are talking about the mineral oil. So you should tell me about the substance in there that doesn't allow that. And it's because they are mainly hydrocarbons, which cannot be hydrolyzed to give salts of fatty acids. Your question in Mfantsipim School. The distance round a running track is 400 meters. How many rounds must an athlete run to cover a distance of 10 kilometers? Akoria,
Right.
that is correct. Precise boys, an athlete runs 50 times round a running track and covers a distance of 15 kilometers. Find the perimeter of the track. Michael.
1,000 meters.
No, Michael. Alan.
300 meters.
300 is correct. That is where we end round 2. Viewers, at the end of round 2, here are the scores. Mfantsipim School has 26 points. Presec Boys has 41 points. And now to round 3. Contestants will be solving the problem of the day. They have 3 minutes within which to solve the same problem. After which they'll go to the board to show us how they went about their solution. I'll present mine and we'll compare and award marks. Will you please turn over your sheets, contestants? It's a biology problem and I'll read. Fill in the blanks in the following passage. The parasite which causes bilharziasis belongs to the class blank. An infected person passes out the eggs through blank and blank. The eggs hatch out into the first larval stage called blank. These swim in water by means of blank, which cover their body. They enter the secondary host, a blank, in which they develop into blank. In the secondary host, these multiply and grow into larvae called blank, which eventually leave the host and swim in water. When these larvae enter a person, they develop into adults, which come to rest in the blank and the blank. Viewers, that is the problem of the day.
more active life, rich and creamy Amstel Malta, the international quality low-sugar malt drink. Yeah, that's the way I like my malt drink, Amstel Malta. Low sugar with pleasurable taste and pure nourishment. For you to enjoy again and again. I like it.
I like it.
Amstel Malta. Look good, feel good.
Welcome back, viewers. The contestants will now present their solutions on the blackboard. Thank you, contestants, for those solutions. I'll now read through the passage, filling in the blanks. The parasite which causes bilharziasis belongs to the class Trematoda. An infected person passes out the eggs through urine and feces. The eggs hatch out into the first larval stage called miracidium. These swim in water by means of cilia which cover their bodies. They enter the secondary host, a snail, in which they develop into sporocysts. In the secondary host, these multiply and grow into larvae called cercaria, which eventually leave the host and swim in water. When these larvae enter a person, they develop into adults which come to rest in the bladder and the intestine. And that is what we were expecting from our contestants today. I accepted small intestine for intestine. That is being specific. They got testoda wrong. Cercaria for number 4 is wrong. Chaete for 5 is wrong. Miracidia for 7 is wrong. And Miracidia for 8 is also wrong. That is in the case of Mfantsipim school. So they get 5/10. And as you can see, Presec boys got everything. They even went further to tell us that the name of the snail is the Bulinus species. So for that effort, they get the full mark, 10. Congratulations. Let's move on now to round 4. And contestants have normally 30 seconds within which to give an answer, because most of the questions in this round involve calculation. In a few cases, there's no calculation, and you'll have 15 seconds within which to give me an answer. I'll start with you, Presec boys. What is the difference between the modes of reproduction of amoeba and paramecium? Charles.
Amoeba undergoes only asexual reproduction by binary fission, but then paramecium undergoes both asexual and sexual reproduction. The asexual reproduction is also by binary fission, and then the sexual reproduction is by conjugation in the paramecium.
That is correct. In school, what is the difference between mosses and ferns with regard to their life cycles? Kweku.
For the moss plant, the sporophyte stage is the dominant stage, and for the fern plant, the gametophyte is the dominant.
Arthur Baden.
For the moss plant, the gametophyte phase is the dominant, and for the fern, the sporophyte generation is the dominant generation.
I won't
And
accept
also,
that. I won't accept that. To present for a bonus. Charles.
They both undergo alternation of generation, but when you consider the moss, the sexual gamete producing stage, with the gametophyte generation, is the dominant phase, and the sporophyte depends on the gametophyte. That is, the tissues of the sporophyte is within the gametophyte. But when you come to
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're not answering my question. So I'll stop you right there. You see, in the case of the mosses, both the gametophyte and the sporophyte are significant. There's nothing like one is dominant over the other. But in the sense, the gametophyte is small and insignificant, and the sporophyte rather is dominant. So you were all at a tangent to what I wanted. Protect boys. A wire carries a current of 6 amps. What is the total charge that flows by a given point in 10 minutes? Alan.
36,000.
Alan, no. Alan.
3,600 crores.
That is correct. In Mfantsipim School, a 500-watt electric toaster is switched on for 10 minutes. How much heat is generated? Akoria.
30,000 joules.
No, Akoria. Kweku.
3,000 joules.
No. Akoria.
30 times 10 to the power 4 joules.
I'll give you the mark. Akoria, what is 30 times 10 raised to the power 4 joules? It's 300 kilojoules, but I'll give you the mark. You were all fighting with the zeros. Anyway, preset boys, find the values of A and B if x minus 1 and x plus 1 are factors of the function f of x equals x cubed plus ax squared plus bx plus 2. Charles.
A is equal to -2, and then B is equal to 1.
I'm sorry. I'll just have to pass it on. Mfantsipim for a bonus. At a Baden.
A equals -2 and B equals -1.
That is correct. Your question in Mfantsipim School. Find the values of A and B if x minus 2 and x plus 2 are factors of the function f of x equals x cubed minus ax squared plus bx minus 8. Akoria.
A is equals to 1, B is equals to -1.
No. Prepare for a bonus. A is -2, B is -4. Protect your question. Ammonium tetraoxosulfate 6, a widely used inorganic fertilizer, is made by bubbling a mixture of ammonia and carbon 4 oxide into an aqueous suspension of gypsum. Write a balanced equation for the reaction. Gypsum is calcium sulfate, CaSO4. Alan.
Calcium sulfate plus carbon dioxide plus 2 moles of ammonia going to ammonium sulfate plus calcium carbonate.
No. Mfantsipim for a bonus. Kweku.
2 moles of NH3 plus CO2 plus CaSO4 going to ammonium sulfate plus 2 moles of calcium carbonate.
I'm sorry. That is not true. Presec, you left out water. And without the water, it won't balance. Your question in Mfantsipim School. Ammonium chloride may be prepared by heating a solid mixture of ammonium tetraoxosulfate 6 and sodium chloride. Write a balanced equation for the reaction. Kweku.
Ammonium sulfate plus 2 moles of NaC are going to 2 moles of ammonium chloride plus Na2SO4.
That is correct. Presec, find the inverse of the matrix A equals 2, 4, 1, 3.
3 over 2 minus 2 minus 1 over 2 and 1.
That is correct. In Mfantsipim School, find the inverse of the matrix A equals minus 5 minus 3, 6, 4. Akoria.
Negative 2, negative 3 over 2, 3, and 5 over 2.
That is correct. Presec boys, your question. A sample of cobalt 60 has an activity of 120 microcuries. How long will it take for the activity of the sample to decrease to 15 microcuries? Assume half-life of cobalt 60 to be 5 years. Alan.
240 microcuries.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you are working out. For a bonus in Mfantsipim, Kweku.
15 years.
That is correct. In Mfantsipim School, your question. 100 units of iodine 131 is administered to a patient. Assuming that none is lost through body functions, how much will be left after 32 days? Half-life of iodine 131 is 8 days. Akoria.
6.25.
That is correct. Your question, Presec boys, only one attempt. Which of the following is not a characteristic of insects in the order Odonata? A. Elongated abdomen. B. Folded wings at rest. C. Aquatic nymph. D. Very large compound eyes. E. 2 pairs of equal size membranous wings. Charles.
Aquatic nymphs.
I'm sorry, Charles. I'm sorry, and I said only one attempt, and it's not transferable. The answer is B, folded wings at rest. That is not a characteristic of Odonata. An example is the dragonfly. Your question in Mfantsipim School, only one attempt. Which of the following is not a characteristic of insects in the order Hymenoptera? A. Narrow waist. B. Presence of ovipositor. C. Wings joined by hooks. D. Larger hind wings. E. Biting and sucking mouthparts. Kweku.
Ovipositor.
Oh, I'm sorry. The answer is larger hind wings. The Hymenoptera is rather the 4 wings that are larger. The last set of questions for round 4. Presec your question. An ore of a precious metal contains 10 to the negative 2% of the metal. How many tons of the ore must be exploited to obtain 5 kilograms of pure metal? Remember, 1 ton is equivalent to 1,000 kilograms. Alan.
50,000.
No, Alan. 50,000 what?
Kilograms.
And what is that in tons?
50 tons.
That is correct. In Mfantsipim School, a gold ore is only 10 to the minus 3% rich in gold. How many grams of gold will be produced from 300 tons of the ore? Kweku.
300 grams.
No, Kweku.
300 kilograms.
No, Kweku. Try again. Don't give up. Akoria.
3 tons.
No.
0.3 tons.
It's 3 kilograms of gold and it's not 0.3 tons. That brings us to the end of round 4. QS at the end of round 4, the scores are as follows. Mfantsipim School has 45 points, Protect Boys has 63 points. Since we are moving into the tricky part of this contest, I would say that it's still anybody's contest. We'll start with riddles in round 5, and as usual, both schools are competing to be the first to solve the riddle. I'll be reading the clues to the riddle. If you solve a riddle on one clue, you gain 5 points. If you solve it on a second clue, you gain 4 points. On any other number of clues, a riddle solved is worth 3 points. When the schools are ready to solve a riddle, they call my attention by ringing a bell. The bell from Protect sounds like this. And the bell from Mfantsipim sounds like this. So since your bells are working, get ready and let's move. Are we ready? I'll read. In an argument, I am indicated if one misses the point at issue. For a curve, I am associated with a derivative. For a circle, I am a chord meeting the circle in exactly 1 point. I am perpendicular to a radius at a point on the circle. Michael.
Tangent.
That is correct. The second riddle. I am a 2-word phrase in chemistry. You will not be wrong if you considered me a property of an atom. You may consider me as an arrangement. Although an atom has neutrons, protons, and electrons, I deal only with one of these 3 particles. Alan.
Electronic configuration.
That is correct. And now the third riddle. Before the days of Lord Rutherford, I was unknown. I am quite insignificant in size, but I can never be ignored. In normal, everyday life, I can be considered as the heart of a group, an organization, and so on. Michael.
The nucleus.
That is correct. And now the last riddle. I am a mass of nervous tissue. In vertebrates, I occur mostly outside the central nervous system. In invertebrates, I occur along the nerve cords and constitute a part of the central nervous system. I am generally found in areas of high sensory input. I can be identified by the presence of a lot of synapses and cell bodies enclosed in a connective tissue capsule. Who am I? For once, I finished reading my riddle. Alan.
Get this.
I'm sorry. Kweku?
Dendron.
No. The answer is ganglion. Ganglion. And now to the true or false statement. Now to the true or false statement. Contestants, you have to tell me whether the statements I make to you are true or false. A correct answer is worth 2 points. An incorrect answer attracts a penalty of -1. I'll start with you in Mfantsipim School. The higher the oxidation potential of a metal, the greater is its ability to reduce chemical substances. Asabaden.
False.
I'm sorry, that is true. Preserve boys. The electronegativity of the atoms in group 4 decreases down the group.
True.
That is correct. Mfantsipim, the angular velocity of an object depends on its distance to the center of rotation. Akoria.
It's true.
That is correct. Preserve boys, the centripetal acceleration of a body in uniform circular motion is perpendicular to the velocity. Alan.
True.
That is correct. The neural arc transmits impulses to and from the spinal cord. Kweku.
False.
That is correct. Preserve boys, the olecranon process is a projection of the radius.
False.
That is false. That is false. It's rather a projection of the ulna. Mfantsipim School, matrix multiplication is associated. Akoria.
It's false.
Oh, Akoria. That's not true. That's not true. Matrix multiplication is associated. That is a true statement. Preferred boys, matrix addition is commutative. Charles.
True.
That is correct. Mfantsipim, the net force acting on an object can be zero even if its velocity is not zero. Kweku.
True.
That is correct. Preserved boys, it is possible in practice to polish away all the irregularities of a surface, thereby eliminating friction. Charles.
False.
That is correct. Mfantsipim, a placenta is made up of both fetal and maternal tissues. Asabaden.
True.
That is true, correct. Preserved boys, the white matter of the spinal cord consists of cell bodies. Allen.
False.
Correct. Mfantsipim School, two sets A and B are equivalent if A equals B. Kweku.
True.
I'm sorry, Kweku, that is false. Preserved boys. Preserved boys. Equal sets are equivalent. Equal sets are equivalent. Allen.
True.
Correct. And to the last two statements of this round, Mfantsipim, your final statement. An inorganic salt whose solution does not give a precipitate with NaOH solution or H2S may contain calcium. Kweku.
True.
That is correct. Your final statement, preserved boys. An inorganic salt which does not react with Kong sulfuric acid or Kong HCl may contain a tetraoxosulfate 6 ion. Charles.
True.
And that is correct. With that answer, we come to the end of round 5. And at the end of the contest, here are the scores. Mfantsipim School has 52 points. Presbyterian Boys has 88 points. Mfantsipim School, I guess this is where I say goodbye. I hope to see you next year. Presbyterian, congratulations. You've made it to the semi-finals, and I look forward to seeing you then. Viewers, that brings us to the end of today's program. Next week, we'll bring you another quarter-final contest, and it will be between Achimota School and Pope John Secondary School. Don't miss it. Good morning once again and welcome to the program. I'm happy to bring you another quarter-final contest, and today's is between Achimota School and Pope John Secondary School. Let's take a word from our sponsors, after which we'll meet our contestants.
For a more active life, rich and creamy Amstel Malta, the international quality low-sugar malt drink. Yeah, that's the way I like my malt drink, Amstel Malta. Low sugar with pleasurable taste and pure nourishment. For you to enjoy again and again. I like it.
I like it.
Amstel Malta. Look good, feel good.
You're welcome back. The contestants from Achimota School are to my right, and they are
David Tepekwada, SS3.
Kofi Dilabi, SS3.
Selasidoku, SS3.
Pope John is to my left and represented by
Eugene Bodi Dankwa, SS3. Ewa Dominic, SS3.
Viewers, there we are with our contestants, and as you know, they are both competing to enter the semi-finals, so you can expect an exciting contest. To round 1, and here are the rules. You have 15 seconds within which to give me an answer. A major question answered correctly is worth 3 points. A question that is answered incorrectly may be passed on as a bonus question to be attempted only once for a bonus point of 1. I'll start with you at Achimota School. Which is a stronger acid, H3O plus or NH4 plus? Give reasons for your answer. Selassie.
H3O plus. This is because acidity depends on the ability to release hydrogen ions. H3O plus has a stronger ability to release hydrogen ions than NH4 plus, and so in solution is going to act as a stronger acid.
I'll give you 2 out of 3. And the main reason is because it's a weaker base. Water is a weaker base, and so will produce a strong conjugate acid, all right? Pope John, 2 organic acids have pKa 5 and 7. Which is a stronger acid? Eugene?
The one with pKa 5.
That is correct. Achimota School, in which blood vessel is blood pressure greatest? David?
The aorta.
That is correct. Pope John, what percentage of blood leaving the left ventricle during each heartbeat passes through the kidneys? Dominic?
25%.
That is correct. Your question at Imota School. How is the power of a lens defined? How is the power of a lens defined? Selassie?
It is defined as 1 over the focal length in meters.
That is correct. Pope John, what is 1 diopter? Eugene?
It is the power of a lens of focal length 1 meter.
That is correct. At Malta School, solve for x. Solve for x. X squared minus 3x plus 5 all over x squared plus 3x minus 1 equals 1. Solve for x. David.
X is equal to negative 1.
No, David. David.
X is equal to 1.
That is correct. Pope John, solve for x. 2 over 3x minus 1 equals 3 over 2x plus 1. So the 3x minus 1 is a denominator, and the 2x plus 1 is also a denominator. Joseph?
X is equal to 1.
That is correct. Atimota, your question. In mammals, the smell or olfactory receptors are located in the nasal cavity. Where are they located in insects? Only one attempt. Selassie.
They are located on the foot, the legs of the insect.
I'm sorry, Selassie. And I'll pass it on to Pope John as a bonus question. Eugene.
On the skin.
No, they are on the antennae. Your question, Pope John. In mollusks, what name is given to the tissue that secretes the calcareous shell and covers the hump? Eugene?
The visceral hump.
No. Dominic?
The mantle cavity.
The mantle is correct. Your question, Achimota. Factorize the expression AB plus 2B minus 3A minus 6. Selassie.
B minus 3, A plus 2.
That is correct. Pope John, 6AB minus 4B plus 9A minus 6. Factorize the expression. Eugene.
2B minus 3, 3A minus 2.
No, Eugene.
2B plus 3, 3A minus 2.
That is correct. Achimota, your question. What is the functional group of phenols? The functional group of phenols. David.
The OH bond. The OH.
I won't take that. Selassie.
The benzene ring.
I won't take that either. Kofi.
The OH attached to the benzene ring.
And that is correct. Pope John, A hydrocarbon has the molecular formula C5H10 and does not react with bromine in tetrachloromethane. What can be concluded about the structure of the compound? Eugene.
It is a cycloalkene.
That is correct. Achimota School. The radioactive decay of radon with atomic number 86 and mass number 222 into polonium with atomic number 84 and mass number 218 is an example of A, beta decay, B, gamma ray emission, C, ionization, D, alpha decay, E, position emission. Sophie?
Alpha decay.
Alpha decay is correct. Pope John Secondary, the radioactive decay of iodine with atomic number 53, mass number 131 into xenon with atomic number 54, mass number 131 is an example of A, beta decay, B, gamma ray emission, C, ionization, D, alpha decay, E, position emission. Joseph?
Beta decay.
That is correct. And that brings us to the end of round one.
For a more active life, rich and creamy Amstel Malta, the international quality low-sugar malt drink. Yeah, that's the way I like my malt drink, Amstel Malta. Low sugar with pleasurable taste and pure nourishment. For you to enjoy again and again. I like it.
I like it.
Amstel Malta. Look good, feel good.
Viewers, at the end of round one, Achimota School has 20 points, Pope John Secondary has 24 points. And now to the applied science round, and I'll start with you, Pope John. As you know, again, you have 15 seconds within which to give me an answer in this round. In a few instances, you have 30 seconds because the questions will involve calculation. Your question, Pope John, give me 3 requirements of an efficient respiratory organ. Dominic.
It should be highly vascularized. It should have a very thin epithelium, and then it should be very moist.
I'll take that. To you, at